So with 2025 fast approaching, ladies and gentlemen, I know, where has the time gone? It almost feels like yesterday I was on your screen saying, man, 2024 is going to be a crazy year, and in around, what, 3 months or so, I'm now going to be saying, man, 2025, it's going to be a crazy year. But I mentioned 2025 not only to scare you about getting older, I do apologize, but it's going to be a very interesting time for the Snow White saga we have going on right now within the world of the film industry. As we know, Disney's woke Snow White is set to release in the US on March 21st, and boy, what a ride it has been. I think it's fair to say a film hasn't caused this much controversy in a very, very long time. But within all of that controversy, we got something last year that nobody expected, but it was quite amazing. The Daily Wire announced that they would be creating their own version of Snow White, which is apparently set to release as well in 2025, and it will go against the woke garbage Disney is feeding everyone, with Brett Cooper set to be playing Snow White. And for those of you who somehow haven't seen the trailer to the Daily Wire's adaptation of Snow White, let's take a look.
Once upon a time, in time a prince would come. Once upon a time, but now that time is gone.
Do you know what makes me laugh? That trailer is shorter than, well, any of the dwarfs that appear in the Snow White fairy tale, yet I'm more intrigued to see that than Disney's version. That in itself is very telling, and I think most of it is down to Rachel Zegler and her lack of respect for the character and the direction Disney want to take it in. As we know, they want to make it a girl boss story. Everyone's so tired of it. I mean, we have a 1 minute and 18-second trailer from Disney, and in all of that time, they just showed how awful it looks. The CGI dwarfs that replaced the politically correct magical creatures who actually replaced dwarfs, couldn't make it up. The evil queen actually looking better than Snow White. What are they doing? And if I was a prince, man, I would not be chasing Snow White in this film, that is for sure. Oh, and talking of the prince, as we know, Rachel Zegler thinks he's a stalker. Snow White won't be focusing on her true love. You know, the film was made in 1937, and that is just so outdated. Why someone who hates the original story would want to play the character is just simply beyond me. It doesn't make any sense, but due to all the backlash created with this film, it now has over 1 million dislikes. Let me repeat that, over 1 million dislikes. Which you cannot say the same for the Daily Wire's version, which just shows you people like simple takes, sticking to the original story and the meaning of it, not race swapping and trying to make the Snow White story something that it isn't and was never intended to be. I know I seem really smart, don't I? Why don't I work at Disney? Oh yeah, because I'm intelligent, like all of you. They don't like smart people. Smart people over there, clearly. Now, those are just my thoughts, and people can disagree, although I think a lot of people will end up agreeing with what I've said, but nonetheless, it is clear to see in 2025, we're going to be getting potentially a Snow White face-off. Out of all the things, we're getting a Snow White face-off. Who could have seen that one coming? The Snow White Showdown. Will Disney's princess or the Daily Wire's version win fans over? These two adaptations couldn't be more different, you can say that again. Disney's version, starring Rachel Zegler, has faced ongoing scrutiny for its modern and culturally updated interpretation of the classic tale. On the other hand, the Daily Wire's Snow White and the Evil Queen, led by Brett Cooper, aims to retain the original themes of beauty, vanity, love, and life. This version seems poised to cater to a more traditional audience, pushing back against what they perceive as Disney's progressive woke agenda. Now, just hearing that in itself, I think is pretty clear to see which film is going to be better. You have one company who is clearly pushing a woke agenda and trying to condition people, young women perhaps, to think a certain way. Then you have the Daily Wire's version, which is keeping the original themes, which in some people's eyes isn't politically correct. You know, there are some people out there, and I'm being serious when I say this, it's an issue. You know, there are some people out there who genuinely hate the thought of a woman falling in love in a film and getting saved by a man, because to them, oh, it's so misogynistic, it's sexist. Get a grip. You know, to those people who hate it so much, get some fresh air first and foremost. It might actually do you some good. But to those people, there are still some people out there are still women out there who actually like the idea of falling in love with a man. I know it's very alien to those people as well, because the woke agendas are very apparent, but some women out there don't always feel like they have to watch a film where a woman is acting like Tomb Raider. But going back to talking about original themes and sticking to them, This is what Rachel Zegler has had to say about the story recently in an interview with Variety. Zegler told Variety it fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history, where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby, so the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience. One of the core points in our film for any young woman or young person is remembering how strong you actually are. Zegler added. This theme of resilience has been echoed throughout the film's promotional material, underscoring Disney's commitment to making Snow White a symbol of empowerment.
Crap on top of crap on top of crap on top of crap.
But now entering on the other hand, the Daily Wire's Snow White and the Evil Queen. While Disney was contending with backlash over its progressive reimagining, the Daily Wire saw an opportunity. In October 2023, during Disney's centennial year, the Daily Wire's co-founder Jeremy Boring announced that his company would be producing its own version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. During an interview on the Jordan B. Peterson podcast, Cooper explained the rationale behind the Daily Wire's decision to create its own Snow White. People were very disappointed, very upset about the way Disney was rolling out this project, Cooper said. She also revealed that the film was in pre-production with a release plan for 2025. Cooper didn't mince words when criticizing Disney's approach. As somebody who is more traditional, it's sad to watch these stories be completely destructed for that woke agenda. This sentiment echoes across the Daily Wire's broader mission as the company seeks to establish itself as a counterweight to what it views as Hollywood's overly progressive stance on culture and storytelling. Yeah, and we need a company to stand against all this crap going on. So we all know how Rachel Zegler feels about the character, the story. We've all heard her speak about it. I don't need to show you the clips. I mean, just for this video's sake, let's just play one.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Yeah. So what I want to do now is show you clips of Brett Cooper speaking about the story and her attitude towards the whole thing. Firstly, we'll take a look at the Jordan Peterson podcast, and then when she announces it on her own channel, the difference is crazy. Take a watch.
You've now heard me speak for I don't know how many hours we've been talking, but about my love of literature and stories. Yeah. And I grew up reading classic literature. I grew up reading the traditional stories. I grew up reading Grimm's. And I love the stories underneath these fairy tales. And so as somebody who is more traditional and has a love and appreciation for stories, it's sad to watch these stories be completely destructed for that agenda. But yeah, Jeremy said we want to do the impossible and we want to do our own Snow White. And we want to do it in line with the values with which it was written. We want to honor the story, and we want you to play Snow White.
My producer, Reagan, was sitting right next to me, and I think that we literally listened to just that, 30-second bit of music like 50 times, and both of us had chills. It was like, oh my God, it's literally a princess. This is literally a fairy tale. This is so crazy. We just could not get enough of it, and I truly could not believe that this was actually happening. And I think most people online were sharing the same sentiment. We're not trying to turn Snow White into something that it's not. We're not trying to turn Snow White into a MAGA conservative movie. We're just trying to represent the values that Snow White is based in, the timeless values that we all loved growing up that are sadly being forgotten in this new adaptation. We don't give a crap about being woke, but more importantly, our creative team actually gives a crap about the source material. They want to tell the original story with the values and the themes that made the Grimm brothers fairy tale so famous and important to begin with. Values like love and kindness and friendship and inner beauty versus vanity and romance, for Pete's sake, because apparently that's missing in 2023. Weird.
I mean, I just cannot believe what Disney is doing. I really can't. Now, from what we've seen from both, again, who do you think is going to play Snow White better and win the showdown in 2025? I think it's pretty obvious. One actually sounds like they're going to enjoy playing the character and telling the original story, and the other, well, she sounds like she's only there for the money and to push the woke agendas Disney loves to put on the screen. This just proves why hiring people to be diverse, inclusive, or whatever, and then remake an original story does not work. You will annoy people, and it just seems like Disney do not care. They just want to continue to go down this road, no matter how much money they lose, by the way, because this Snow White film they're creating, it's actually laughable how much money they're going to lose. I'm just hoping in the near future we get some more news surrounding the Daily Wire's version of Snow White, and when it does release, we all know they're absolutely going to destroy Disney and make them look stupid, and I don't think anybody has an issue seeing that. But leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on the two films? What are your thoughts on Rachel Zegler, Brett Cooper? I'd like to know. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, and also let me know, by the way, who's going to win the 2025 showdown. Pretty obvious, but anyway, let me know. But until next time, it has been your host, JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.